Welcome to the 6th annual 40 Acres Founders Pitch Competition. My name is Steve Graham, the director of the Herb Kelleher Entrepreneurship Center. The 40 Acres Founders Program is a shining example of how we at the Herb Kelleher Center support all UT founders, undergraduate and graduate, from across the 40 acres, with founders in this cohort hailing from the Moody College of Communication, Cockrell School of Engineering, the College of Natural Sciences, and the Macomb School of Business. Throughout this semester, our students have been working hard on developing their ventures with the support of our faculty and staff, guest speakers, mentors, and student assistants. Now is their chance to show off their progress. Today, you'll be watching the pitches from our 40 Acres finalists. These are 4 people who scored highest in our preliminary judging round. Each of the finalists will have 10 minutes to present, followed by 10 minutes of Q&A with our panel of judges. And at that time, we will have the remaining 40 Acres founders have an elevator pitch competition during that period for a chance to earn additional prizes. And then once we've completed the elevator pitch rounds, we'll announce the results to all of you. And we'll be awarding today 7 non-dilutive grant funding prizes. $10,000 to the first place, $5,000 to second, $3,000 to third, $2,000 to fourth, $1,000 to our elevator pitch award winner, and then 2 audience choice awards, and we'll explain how that works in a little bit. Before we begin, I want to give my heartfelt thanks to all of those who have been involved in this program this semester, beginning first and foremost with our founders. Thank you to all of you for all of your hard work and dedication throughout the semester, your diligent progress that you've made with your ventures, for making the most out of the resources that we've offered to you, for adopting a collaborative spirit with each other. I hope you realize that this is a truly special cohort, and then we're so grateful to have you as part of our community at HKEC. Next, I want to thank our student assistants. Our student assistants have worked significant hours each week in support of their founders to help them advance their business and develop their products. I also want to take time to thank our mentors who were paired with each founder and devoted significant time throughout the semester to offer their expert guidance. We're also grateful to our excellent guest speakers that came each week to offer their own entrepreneurial stories and answer many pointed questions from our founders. I'd also like to recognize and thank our program donors who have funded in perpetuity 7 of the seats in the program. So a big thank you to Frank and Gwen Gordon, Stephen Maker, Kim and Michael Tucci, Brian Kruver, Jay Steinfeld, Thomas and Libby Matai, and Ed and Connie Easley for endowing seats in the program. Through your generosity, you've helped pave the way for the next generation of Texas entrepreneurs. And then last but not least, I want to thank our amazing judges who have volunteered their time and expertise to be with us here today. So thank you for navigating the UT campus and finding a parking spot despite all odds. So thank you for being here. So I'd like to invite all of our judges up to the stage to briefly introduce yourself.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Matt Reedy. I am the entrepreneur in residence at Trinity University in San Antonio. 3-time serial entrepreneur, also working on my 4th startup right now. And good luck to the teams.
Hi, this is Abhishek, founder and CEO of Sapid Glue Technologies. We work with a lot of businesses to build their products with AI and blockchain first approach. So pretty much on the technology side of it. Look forward to hear you, and best of luck.
Hi, everybody. David J. Neff. I'm a partner at a venture capital firm here in town that invests in deep tech called Ecliptic Capital. My background is 20 years in software, coding, shipping, building, and now I moved into more of the deep tech thesis. I'll also be teaching an entrepreneurship class at Moody in the fall, so I'll plug that for students as well.
Hi, Marissa Saporta, co-founder of Guerrilla Commerce. We are a home goods e-commerce company, and today we're ranked in the top 10 third-party sellers on Amazon. I have been in the shoes of pitching on repeat We did a transaction for a sale in 2019 to a private equity firm. So I'm really excited to see you guys bring it today.
Hey, my name's Dave Blake. I am the owner of Spirit Pieces. We do memorial artwork and jewelry. Been in business for about 10 years. I'm also here today as a member of Central Texas Angel Network. So I'm an active angel investor. So I'm really excited what you all are bringing.
Hi everyone, Francesco Cassinerio here. I'm currently advising an accelerator partnership in town. I'm an angel investor and have been working VCs in Singapore previously, as well as investor relations in a startup.
My name is Stefan Brunner. I consider myself a technologist. I grew up with building the early internet in the late 90s around the .com. I'm working on 2 startup concepts. My company is called Zillagy. We're working on utilizing UI in order to deliver cost-effective maintenance services for solar. And I'm working on a second project that makes agentic AI available to people who are not familiar with AI tools. Thank you.
Right. Thank you to all our judges. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to welcome to the stage our first founder, Thomas Pavelio, who holds the Stephen Maker Endowed Excellent Scholar seat in the program. And I'll hand over the mic and the slides.
Hello, everyone. I'm Thomas, a graduate student here at UT and co-founder of Eden. We can all recognize that sustainability is no longer a buzzword. It's a necessity. With the advent of climate change and increasingly unpredictable temperatures, our world is beginning to cry out for help, a cry we can no longer ignore. In 2020, NOAA recorded unprecedented temperatures across the world. Texas alone broke records for weeks of triple-digit heat in 2024. And by 2040, predictions indicate only worse conditions ahead. Rising temperatures are scorching crops, slashing yields, and threatening the sustainability of our future. In the next decade, 70% of vineyards, or 18 million acres, are at risk for crop failure. From Texas to Tuscany, the ripple effects threaten the traditions, livelihoods, and cultures of those tied most deeply to these crops. As the ecosystems we depend on begin to falter, farmers face deep uncertainty, and we will pay the price, not only in rising costs of the foods, drinks, but the experiences we cherish the most. So today, we're going to tell you how we can turn the tide. At Eden, we believe to solve nature's problems, nature itself is the solution. We've developed a unique soil probiotic which naturally supplements heat resistance for the most climate-vulnerable agriculture. Once applied to the soil, our product will naturally colonize around the root systems of the plant. During a heat stress event, it triggers the production of heat resistance proteins which are already native to the plant itself. Thus, these proteins then proliferate from the roots throughout the rest of the crop, providing increased heat resistance and allowing growth to continue despite rising temperatures. Our method allows us to provide heat resistance and growth despite the growing climate. And other solutions fall short. GMOs require years to develop, cannot easily be undone, and are outright banned in key markets. Grafting and chemical sprays have high expenses and very inconsistent results. And conventional breeding methods are slow and very crop specific. And the demand for resilient agriculture is tremendous. The vineyard market alone is already projected to be over $300 billion by 2029. We provide a solution that is developed to arm crops quickly, affordably, and ready for immediate use. In addition, we have found other methods which allow us to easily adapt and serve other climate-vulnerable industries, providing a unique modular solution that is adaptable across borders. So, we'll be starting with vineyards. Not only because of their high value, but because they're the most vulnerable to heat. The US alone is already registered at a $70 billion market, actively growing and looking for solutions that allow it to beat the rising heat. By starting here, we aim to build trust, data, and traction in one of the world's most iconic industries. Our B2B subscription model allows us to seamlessly collaborate with users across industries. According to UC Davis, heat waves alone can slash yields by 10 to 15%, translating into an average of $2,000 lost per acre across millions of vineyard acres. And we provide an affordable solution. With an estimated price of up to $500 per acre, this allows us to protect yield and quality of our growers, all while allowing us to scale with every acre we protect. And we're not just an idea, we also have traction. We've already secured letters of intent, including from a world top 100 vineyard, with users expanding from the East Coast, West Coast, and Mexico. After numerous conversations with growers, they're ready for a solution that delivers sustainable and tangible results. Our development strategy follows a phased approach. We'll pilot our solution with select producers, gather critical performance data, and build the trust necessary to start building the future together. We have also launched this past month, which also includes our pre-seed round. To execute this vision, we are seeking $1 million through SAFE agreements. This funding will be used for product development, IP protection, and customer expansion. I'm Thomas Pavelio, co-founder and CEO of Eden, with a background in engineering and bioinformatics, and so honored to be growing the future with my amazing teammates, Ismar and Lydia. As Texas Longhorns, we bring together technical excellence with deep expertise and performance. It wasn't until now we have the opportunity to bring balance back to our planet. If Mother Nature asks for our help, then this is our answer. Because here at UT, we all believe one thing: what starts here changes the world. Thank you.
All right, congratulations to our winner. We always have some great swag to hand out, so hopefully we'll be doing this after each of our presentations. So I want to welcome up to the stage our second founder, Avery Neal, who holds the Ed and Connie Easley Endowed Excellence Scholar seat. Welcome, Avery.
All right. Can y'all all do a favor for me and pretend you're in a classroom and the teacher goes to write on the board, but you can't really see what they're writing, so you go to pull out your phone to take a photo. And then you fall a little bit behind, and then it happens again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and then you think, what's the point of going to class? What's the point of engaging in an environment that is working against you? This is why visually impaired students have a graduation rate of 15%, which shows us a greater problem. 25% of all students have difficulty seeing projected notes, 40% with whiteboard, and 60%, over half of the class, have difficulty seeing chalkboard notes. And this may be because professors have poor handwriting, classrooms can be so large, or accommodations just aren't always effective. And these are all things I experienced firsthand as a visually impaired college student at UT. I can think of multiple times within the past semester where I've been on the verge of tears because I didn't know if the classroom I was about to enter would be working with me or against me. And that's when I decided there needed to be a solution now. And that's when I created Front Row, an assistive technology that solves note-taking struggles, making every classroom accessible and empowering every student. And it works like this. Here's a quick video of our prototype. If you're in the front or the back of the classroom, as long as the student or professor has their phone camera set up, you can type alongside the professor. As you're typing, an AI chatbot pops up and says, do you need a quick refresher on the topic you're learning about? You can open it up, clearly see a quick refresher. Then maybe you need a practice question because you're still not getting it. You want to gauge how you're doing. You can have a quick practice question right there. Also, you can adjust the contrast depending on your preferences. You can change settings to low light, that's my favorite, or you can zoom in, you can zoom out based on your preferences, and then you can take a screenshot of what the professor is writing to clearly save the image to look at it at a later time. And then you can save your text so that you can look at it. And with Front Row, we're making Classroom accessible and bringing the board to you. Our 3 key features are that we have real-time accessibility. So this, other than the video obviously being displayed in front of you, the main thing here is that you can adjust the contrast and you have full control over what's being displayed in front of you. A lot of disabilities are very individualized, so if you have control over the contrast, it gives you more freedom. Additionally, we have the chatbot, which is super helpful to just keep you focused in class. I know there are times when I'm in a classroom and I'm not always comfortable asking a question, but I'm a little confused, and something like the chatbot would definitely help me. And then finally, we're working on a pan-tilt zoom camera software right now. In classrooms that are super large and have a slide and a chalkboard, professors will go from presenting slides to doing a practice problem. And there's a lot of time that students spend manually getting their phone out, zooming in to different areas. But what this will automatically do is zoom into the area that the professor is referencing. So as they go to the whiteboard, it will see there's new content and it will zoom into the whiteboard. And now that we had technology, we wanted to check our market validation. So we met with over 30 students, and we found that 90% are already using some form of technology in the classroom, 60% cannot see the notes clearly, and 84% say that they feel like they waste time, I see you taking a photo, say that they waste time copying professor notes. Now this is helpful, but what's even more impactful is seeing what students are saying. So in calculus, one student, Samantha, said, in calculus, the chalkboard is blurry and the projector is worse. I take a photo, but looking up and down constantly is exhausting. Another student, Divya, said, what's the point if you can't see notes? Exactly. And when we tested our prototype with her, she said, this is so cool, I would definitely use this. Now, she doesn't have a disability whatsoever, but she knows if she can't see in class, she's going to fall behind. And now that we knew that students were interested, we wanted to see how disability offices felt. So we met with UT, A&M, UGA, Trinity University, the Austin Community College System, and the Atlas School, a technical software school in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And we found that all 6 of these schools were incredibly interested in working with Front Row. And what's crazy is that disability officers are frustrated because they don't have a solution for their students. But students are so much more frustrated because they can't learn effectively. And schools like UGA and A&M really emphasize that this solution would help their students. They know it, and they want to use Front Row as soon as possible. Now that we know that schools were interested, let's dive into the current competitors that schools and students are using. So right now there's peer and institution-based resources like peer notes or recorded lectures. There's note-taking apps like Glean, Notability, and GoodNotes. And then there's manual workarounds like sitting in the front row or taking a photo with your phone. Now the benefits of each of these are, for peer and institution-based, is that you can look at these notes after the fact. For the note-taking apps, it's organized and customized. And then finally, for manual workarounds, it improves access during the class. But with Front Row, we combine all 3 of these by allowing you to have customizable notes. Going back to the contrast feature, it really makes sure that what you're seeing is the way that you need to see it. And then for AI summaries, this really emphasizes that you don't have to look at a peer notes. You don't have to understand someone else's notes or watch an entire recorded lecture. All you have to do is look at the AI summary, and it will clearly display what was taken in class. And then finally, the real-time zoomed video. This replaces any manual workarounds like sitting in the front row or taking a photo with your phone. And diving into the financial model, Right now, we first hope to sell directly to disability offices, so B2B, with around 12,000 for 200 students and up to 50,000 for 1,000 students. So our benefits to the school is that we cut cost of peer note takers, we boost retention and graduation rates, and we support ADA compliance. And once we're in the disability offices for students with note-taking accommodations, we hope to reach students who may be friends with someone with note-taking accommodations, and they see that would be really helpful for me, and they can buy Front Row directly for $6 a month. Now, our benefits for students is that we help them take better notes, our AI summaries help them study faster, and we make them feel motivated by being a part of an accessible community. Now, diving into our target market, the first people we hope to reach are schools like UGA, A&M, and Trinity, who have a history of large funding for assistive technology and who have disability advisors who are very eager. Our ideal students are college students with disabilities and specifically note-taking accommodations. Now, for the first area we hope to reach, it's students with note-taking accommodations, which is a $163.8 million market, then all disabled undergrads, and finally, we hope to move up to all university students in the US, which is a $1.3 billion market. Now, for our go-to-market strategy, right now we've done pilot testing with around 10 students, but over the summer we hope to reach 100 students and really gauge that feedback, so in the fall we're ready for even more, which is 200 students. And then, well, we are also making sure that we have the patent process ready. We're hoping to start the patent process and trademarking process at the beginning of next fall and incorporate at the beginning of next year. And then for school interaction, we're having initial meetings right now, and we hope to start the vendor process at the end of this year. Now, diving into our budget, over the next year, we're anticipating to spend $8,000 to $10,000. This is a large part for technology cost, and then as well as incorporating patent and IP. And a large part is also just for feedback buffer, just because we know students are gonna have some feedback that we're not prepared for, and I'd rather have some set aside. But the big thing here is that we wanna emphasize that every dollar has such a big potential to make a huge impact in a student's life. Because with Front Row, we believe that we can increase graduation rates by 12% and increase income by $30,000. Now, Front Row isn't just for students like me who are visually impaired. We're for students like Divya, who don't even have a disability. We're for anyone in the audience today who may have a hard time seeing notes in work meetings, conferences, or classes. Because I know if I had something like Front Row when I was in kindergarten or even a freshman in college, I know it would change the trajectory of my life completely. And if I can help any student feel that, I will. So Front Row is bringing the board to you. Thank you.
Okay. Great job, Avery. I want to welcome next to the stage is our third founder, Johnny Tran, who holds the Brian Kruver Endowed Excellence Scholar seat this year. So welcome, Johnny.
So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for spending your precious time with me today. I am Hiếu Chan, and it's my pleasure to share with you OI's vision with our play world. First of all, I would like to introduce to you my home country, Vietnam. Vietnam, where strangers treat you like a family, where asking for a direction can mean getting a free ride to where you want to go, where asking for food recommendation can turn into a free home-cooked dinner. Vietnam, where every day may treat you with a breathtaking scenario, where you may wake up with the sound of wave tapping the shore and the refreshing air enters your lungs as you enjoy the scenes from the top of the mountains. This is Vietnam, except it's pretty blurry, right? Unfortunately, not everyone is able to enjoy this wonder of life every day, even if they live amongst those scenarios. In fact, here's something that is not hard to see at all. 2.2 billion. This is the number of people who are visually impaired worldwide. Out of these 2.2 billion people, 80% need a simple, cheap pair of glasses to overcome visual impairment, but more than 1 billion lack access to the basic eye care that they need. Untreated visual impairment have profound impacts, especially on remote and underserved communities. untreated visual impairment have increased the chance of dropping out among students by 44% and have caused more than $400 billion loss in productivity annually. Moreover, patients with untreated visual impairment have 5 times increased the risk of anxiety and depressions. As you can see, untreated vision impairment affects every aspect of a patient's life. So just give patients a pair of glasses will help solve the issues, right? But before answering this question, let's do a quick poll. How many of you or someone you know have a pair of glasses? Can you raise hands? And how many of you, how many have the glass that costs more than $100 to buy? Yes. At first glance, it seems like this high price of glass is the reason why there are so many people who are visually impaired worldwide, right? But it turns out a pair of glass can be produced at a price as low as $5, and there's numerous organizations who are willingly to provide eyeglass low to no cost for patients. The truth is, the challenge to why there's so many people who are still visually impaired lies behind the current prescription device. Phoropters are the device used to provide prescription for the eyeglass for patients, and the current options are the traditional phoropter, which is mechanically switched between each lens, or the digital phoropter, which automatically detects the lens power. Unfortunately, these devices are not designed for everyone, as the cost can be ranged from $3,000 to $20,000, and the weight can weigh from 12 to 25 pounds, making it extremely inaccessible for patients in remote regions. And to better understand our customer, we had the opportunity to visit Ha Giang, Vietnam, one of the poorest regions in Vietnam. This picture where I took is a 6-hour drive away from Hanoi, the capital city of Vietnam, where most of the medical devices are. But that is where we went to. With an elevation of almost 1 mile and the road only wide enough to fit 1 car, it took us another 14 hours to get to this community, so that we can have this community where a resident house may look like this. And of course, bridging the gap between accessibility and medical advancement is very challenging. What do you think this house is used for? This is a community house, a school, and also a medical center. As you can see, remote areas have very limited resource, and thus have to rely on volunteers like us to provide medical care and also basic supplies. With the high cost and heavy and bulky options currently for a healthcare device, along with the lack of a healthcare system in these remote areas, even for eye care or phoropter, it is extremely inaccessible for patients to get the basic eye care that they need. That's why here at OIs, we envision a phoropter that is affordable, easy to use, and portable, so that we can help deliver eye care to those who need it the most. And with our prototype, we were able to reduce the price from $20,000 or 20 pounds, not to $2,000, not to $1,000, but to $150 and 2 pounds. This is a mechanical liquid lens phoropter, affordable for any community. Our design is simple but efficient. By using 3 liquid lenses instead of more than 30 mechanical lenses used in traditional phoropter, we were able to drastically bring the cost and the weight down. And stimulation has also shown that with the proper material, we will be able to match the prescription range to that of the traditional phoropter, from negative 10 diopter to 10 diopter. And current testing have also shown promising results, and we were able to zoom in and focus our lens until when we can see clearly. And the mechanism is also straightforward. As water or liquid is pushed into the syringe or into the phoropter body, the membrane washes out, and the prescription will change. And our phoropters are also made of common material, such as purely plastic, or liquid such as water, glycerol, and also acrylic, so that we can easily reproduce this in other regions around the world. And OI's phoropters serve a wide range of customers who try to bring eye care to those remote and underserved communities. Volunteer groups or humanitarian groups who frequently conduct outreach program in underserved communities need a portable and easy-to-use product so that they can provide prescription to the patients before getting the eyeglass from other communities and bring it to the patients themselves. government programs who invest in low-cost and cost-effective medical opportunities also need a scalable program so that they can bring eye care to mass number of people, especially in remote regions. And local clinics in those underserved communities also have limited resource and thus need an affordable and portable device as well. And the global for-optor market is a growing, viable market for us to break in. In 2024, the global for-optor market was valued at more than $150 million, and we focus on underserved rural clinics or local communities. And the data I show here is mainly for in Vietnam, India, and US. But when we branch out to other regions around the world, the number will be higher. First, we will enter the market in Vietnam. We already established connection with many of the community group over there. After that, we hope to go to India, where 65% of people need glass, but only 7% of those who have some. After that, we hope to bring our for-optor to US or any other regions of the world where eye care, accessibility to eye care is still limited. And as can be seen from this graph, the for-optor market is a growing market as well due to multiple key drivers. In the next 8 years, the global market is expected to at least double, and due to multiple reasons, such as medical research and development, a focus on accessibility for medical device in remote areas, as well as the government prioritization of remote areas. But of course, for us, this is still a long, ongoing journey. At OIS, we focus on affordability and accessibility, but also for user safety. That's why we are still continuing the vigorous research and development stage until we can finally narrow down the best and optimal product for our patients. In the meantime, we are also looking into patent and medical approval, which can take about 1 or 2 more years until everything can be cleared out. But no matter what the challenge lies ahead of us, we will not step down, because here we care for eye care. And of course, I would like to say thanks to every mentor and the assistant who have been with us, and especially the 40 Acres Founder Programs for helping me get to here today. Hopefully, you still remember this picture. Pretty blurry, right? But with OIS for-optor, we hope that finally we can help people see this wonder of life every day. This is Vietnam. Thank you for your time.
Okay. So let's go ahead and welcome to the stage our 4th founder, Stephen Herrera, who has the J. Steinfeld 40 Acres Founders Endowed Excellence Seat in the program. So come on over, Stephen. Let me get you the slides. Okay. Oh, there we go.
So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. How often have you seen a sprinkler system spraying the sidewalk instead of the grass, or a discolored, patchy fairway leading up to the green of a golf course? The reality is these occurrences are not small incidences. In fact, the EPA estimates that up to 50% of irrigation is wasted on a daily basis. And what this means is I want you guys to think about that is literally half of this precious resource and half of the dollars spent on this resource going down the drain. This equates to up to 9 billion gallons of water wasted every day in the US alone. And at Pinpoint Irrigation, we are tired of wasting all of this water, and we're looking to revolutionize a very antiquated industry. So the core of the problem is in the technology itself. Traditional irrigation sprinkler heads, they are based on decade-old technology, and it was designed when water was abundant and very inexpensive. It relies on a hydraulically powered, gear-driven system that results in a fixed spray distance. And what this means is you need significant overlap to achieve the uniformity for healthy landscapes. As you can see in our very first case study at my rental property in Atlanta, this represents a theoretical best case scenario with existing technology. You can see there's still significant overlap in the spray patterns, and even so, it only achieved up to 80% uniformity and had up to 25% inefficiency by our calculations. Oh, wanted to add that because of all of this, businesses and municipalities alike are desperate for a solution for more efficient irrigation. So that's when Pinpoint comes in, and our solution is an innovative sprinkler head that delivers real-time dynamic spray distances. We do not rely on a fixed spray, and this allows us to outline the outer edge of each irrigation zone, and it allows us to use one sprinkler head versus 5 to 10 like traditional irrigation systems. The overall system is our innovative sprinkler head that have varying spray distances and connects to a smart irrigation controller, and then works in tandem with a software application that allows you to spray where and when and how much water you want. And then finally, wanted to reiterate that it's not just the water utility savings, it makes for healthier landscapes. So prettier golf courses, prettier parks, and prettier green spaces. And then for our customers, our contractors, because of the reduced number of sprinkler heads, this is significant savings for them. Less piping, less labor, and less time to achieve the result of traditional sprinkler systems. So our go-to-market approach is three-phased. We're operating on a wholesale-based revenue model with competitive pricing, and we're also exploring software as a service for our application for larger installs. So phase one is going to be pilot programs from our existing network, and that's going to help bolster our case studies and help with our marketing and sales. Additionally, we're exploring online expansion, making partnerships with e-commerce, and then we're going to move into phase two, which is to increase our sales channels and making partnerships with large national distributors as well as regional distributors. Eventually, we envision expanding globally and offering a suite of products that can be backed by government rebates where applicable and service specifically the commercial irrigation market. So besides customer validation and identification, this semester we've worked really hard on identifying key stakeholders in the industry. As I mentioned, we're planning in phase two to roll out relationships and partnerships with distributors such as Texas Irrigation Supply and Ewing and Site One. Additionally, we're partnering with the Center of Irrigation Technology this summer to do testing on our second prototype of our irrigation sprinkler head and our first prototype of our controller. And then finally, we've partnered with IrriSketch, which is a web-based design software. And what this allows us to do is quantify the savings and time, money, and material in case studies. In fact, tomorrow I'll be working with Butler Pitch and Putt, as this entire spring they've been revamping their sprinkler system, and we are working with them to show them what a theoretical best design is, what their current design looks like, as well as the savings that would be beneficial with our Pinpoint design. So the irrigation competitive landscape is indeed competitive. On the far left, you can see some of the big players, Rainbird, Hunter, and Toro. But like I said, all of their suite of products use that traditional gear-driven sprinkler heads. And if you look in the middle two columns, you're going to see the only two competitors on the market attempting to achieve variable spray distances. I'd like to highlight that both of these competitors are focused solely on B2C and residential applications. And so Pinpoint really differentiates itself, one, by focusing on commercial end users or contractors and end users, as well as we have a proprietary design in both our nozzle and the way our sprinkler head is crafted compared to auto and air-green. So the global landscape irrigation market in 2024 was $5.5 billion, and it's projected to be $14 billion in 2031. We're operating in a key subsegment of that market, which is smart irrigation. So what that looks like in 2024 was $2 billion, and it's actually projected to grow at an even faster rate of a 13% CAGR. And I'd like to, again, reiterate that we're focusing on commercial applications, so golf courses, parks, campuses, kind of like universities or Oracle's campus down the street. So our financial projections, we're predicting a year one revenue of $750,000 and roughly $16.5 million by year three. I'd like to highlight that our unit economics and our projections are based on a detailed BOM analysis, competitive pricing, and realistic assumptions of the upfront costs associated with hardware and firmware development. We are also cognizant of a lot of M&A activity in this space. There's been over 20 transactions, large transactions in the past 10 years. Highlighting one on the right is Orbit. They were bought in 2019. Orbit Irrigation was bought in 2019 by Platinum Equity. And they were then sold 3 years later to Husqvarna Group, a large outdoor supply OEM, at 1.5 times revenue. So we're trying to position ourselves as a water tech, Internet of Things company, and in order to do that, we need to develop and protect our key core technology. We need to prove and validate the savings to our customers, and we need to position and connect ourselves in the industry with key partnerships so that we can have a successful exit. I'd like to detail a technical roadmap. So phase one is going to be validating our core technology. We're actively testing our second prototype, and we're starting to then move into the second half of the year, securing and exploring patents, and then eventually designing for manufacturing. This all culminates into durability testing and the end of the year and the start of 2026, as well as full system integration testing. So I'd like to highlight my team here. Myself, a CEO, I have a background in banking and industrial and systems engineering. I'm focused primarily on the business operations and system level problems. My brilliant co-founder and CTO, Kevin Hartzog, he is a lifelong friend, and he has a slew of prototyping experience within, like he's invented so many different things. So he's prototyped both in industry and on his own throughout his career. I do want to identify that, like, me and Kevin, we've been friends for a long time, and this isn't our first venture focused on lawns. We used to own and operate in middle school and high school our own landscaping business. So we have a relationship, we work well together, and I think it's a funny full circle that we're working on irrigation again. Our two advisors are based in our local markets. Kevin's in Long Beach, and Dr. Wade Martin and Richard Amato here at ATI. They come with a wealth of experience and knowledge in guiding early stage companies in sustainable and clean tech. So our funding ask is $700,000 in a safe note, and that's going to be used to scale production, expand our team, and accelerate our market penetration. At Pinpoint, we're tired of wasting billions of dollars and gallons of water, and we are looking to partner with you guys to move to a more sustainable future. Thank you.
All right, we are ready to announce the winners of this year's 40 Acres Founders Pitch Competition. I just want to start by saying that I hope you all enjoyed the pitches today and found them to be inspiring. I know I have, in working with all of the founders over the span of the semester. It's been a true pleasure and joy to do that. This was certainly not an easy deliberation. We took our time sorting through everything, and with that said, I think we're ready to announce the winners of the finalist round. Then we'll move on to talk about the elevator pitch award winners. So let's go ahead and start. What we'll do for the finalist is once your name is announced as a finalist, you'll come up, receive a check from Allie, and then we'll have you stand over here, and the judges have some feedback to share with you to take away from the event. Okay, so let's get started. Our fourth place award winner this year is Johnny Tran with All Eyes. Good job, Johnny. Okay. Our third place winner is Eden Terraforming Technologies, Thomas Valeo. Okay, so the way that we do this, for those who haven't been to one of these before, is we actually announced the first place winner first because it's de facto obvious who would be if we just announced second place first. So we're going to announce the first place winner first, then the second place winner up to the stage after that. So this year's 40 Acres Founders Pitch Competition winner is Avery Neal, front row. Avery is also the winner of our Audience Choice Award. All right, let's give a big round of applause for our second place winner, Steven Herrera with Pinpoint Irrigation. We are not done yet. We still have 2 awards to present from the Elevator Pitch Contest. So the winner of the Elevator Pitch Award is... suspense. Ana Buendia, Sensate. Just as an aside, it's been awesome to watch Anna take this idea and just find her way through different decisions that she's made in this semester and the progress. It's been awesome to see, so great work. So the Elevator Pitch Audience Choice Award is Shreyan Kata, Internest. All right. Let's give one final round of applause to all our winners and all our competitors today from the 40 Acres Founders Program. Good job.